everybody and welcome back to the internet's best reactions. Today we are going to talk about the US Grand Prix around Austin, Texas. And my God, did I think this was going to be an absolute stinker to talk about after the first sort of half of the race. And then it all kicked off just as Formula One does. You think it's going to be a slow burner or not a burner at all, and it all was just amazing. Your reactions were of course incredible as well, so let's get into them right now. First up we have Heather Marius, Mercedes driving through the pack, literally. And you guessed it, we're talking about lap 1, turn 1, straight away. Carlos Sainz on pole. Great Saturday from him. Actually beat Leclerc on pace, which he hasn't done many times this season. Gets a stinker of a start. Verstappen's clear. He tries to get a little switch back, and George Russell was like, no, I'm not going to be able to slow this Mercedes down, unfortunately. I have locked up again. He said to Ted, I think, this weekend that he's been consistently rubbish the last few races, and I'm not sure he can get out of that category just yet. Locks up, not great driving from George, it has to be said. It's lap 1. It's lap 1, turn 1. Don't be taking that kind of line. He kind of got excited, I think, that he'd got a better start than Hamilton. Locks up, crashes into the side of Sainz, gets a 5-second penalty. Not sure that was maybe quite harsh enough, maybe 10 seconds, but either way, George Russell just is enjoying hitting people at the moment. At Neil Shah 248, Sainz going from pole to the pits. Parkour. That's an interesting meme. I wasn't expecting those two to link up, but it's a shame. I don't think he would have won the race. Verstappen was clear, as we saw at the end. He managed to have a terrible pit stop and still win the race. But Sainz could have easily got a podium, especially with everything that kicked off. He certainly would have been in the mix, but yeah, how gutting must that be? As an F1 driver, getting pole position, which has not been frequent for Carlos Sainz, and then getting yeeted out of existence after one turn. Not a fan. At P. MacArthur 21, George Russell outbraking himself and ramming somebody. Yeah, George Russell's sort of gone from, wow, top 5 every single race weekend to, wow, he's hit someone else. It's not the trend that you really want to be having for George, and I think a lot of drivers do have this at some point in their career, and George is having it right now. I think he just needs to take a few % off, especially into turn 1 on lap 1. We've got another one in from Neil Shah. Didn't even notice until right now. Well done, you got a double submission. Aston Martin in P3 and P5. Of course, with Sainz getting spun around, a few people and a few drivers were affected by this, but not the Aston Martins. Absolutely flying in P3 and 5. Didn't end that way. We'll get on to what Lance Stroll got up to. Naughty boy. But at that point, you're thinking, what is going on with Aston Martin? They were 9th in the Constructors not that long ago, finishing very much out of the points. And then they've just rocked up the last few races, scoring all over the place. At Cosa434, Sainz's race. It's not the most professional of photoshops, but that's what I like. I like the rough and ready photos. At Cohen_Alex, Max in the wind right now. So of course, Verstappen led the way, Sainz out the race. You're thinking, easy victory for Verstappen, and the only thing we were kind of maybe hoping for to spice up the race was the wind, but I felt like the only big error we saw was Nicholas Latifi spinning on his own. Actually, no, Bottas did ditch it in the gravel as well, to be fair, but I felt like Latifi was the big one in terms of, Latifi again. Did you feel the same way? At AG Cycles, Pete Gasly. I don't know if anyone else noticed this, but I'm pretty sure Martin Brundle called Pierre Gasly Pete. I'm not sure why. I don't know if there's a running inside joke that I wasn't or Andrew here wasn't aware of, but calling him Pete, not sure that was the thing. At win_DYYY, Ham never left. Now, it's been a while, hasn't it, that we've been able to fully soak and absorb a Hamilton tyre complaint. And we haven't missed it, have we? Tyres are gone, tyres are okay, flip-flopping between the two. Me personally, I enjoyed Hamilton being at the front fighting for the victory. Those two, Hamilton and Verstappen, are box office. Don't listen to F1 Twitter, they are toxic as anything. That rivalry between those two is just box office. It absolutely is a class watch. and I thoroughly enjoyed it. The tyres going on the radio maybe gets a bit boring after a whole season of dominance, but it was nice to see an old chestnut come back. Speaking of old chestnuts coming back, at Cleary Seat YT, Ferrari prepares Plan E. Now, I think the last time Plan E came out was, in fact, Carlos Sainz at Austria when his engine exploded. So then this was quite a good meme, actually, Ferrari preparing Plan E, Leclerc's engine. Didn't go, though, did it? We actually got a podium, Charles Leclerc fans. Come on! Thought at one point he might have had a chance of the victory, but shock, Ferrari, terrible with tyre wear and cannot go a whole race without falling off the cliff. At June Seps, did Charles just experience luck for the first time in ages? I know. Bottas binning it in the gravel. Thank you very much. Charles Leclerc gets a cheap pit stop and is in the mix. I know. It felt unbelievable. Of course, sad for Bottas, but unbelievable for Charles Leclerc fans. I was buzzing, not going to lie to you. But didn't work out, didn't get the victory. I don't think we're going to see another Ferrari victory this year. Sad times. Now, if you haven't seen our F1 Manager video we did a few days ago where we took over the Haas F1 team, I thoroughly recommend you go and watch it. But this is a clip from it. At NerdyNash31, Russell into turn 1. And this was indeed Sainz getting wiped out by one of our own drivers. So, yeah, it was flashbacks for us. And, yeah, good times. At Jack F Knights, Plan Z, here it is. I love the little Photoshop. That's actually brilliant. That is amazing. We haven't seen Plan Z yet. Where is it? Plan F or Plan G? Was that the highest we've gone so far? Will we see a Plan H? I reckon so. Right, let's talk about the big moment in the race now, where both Aston Martins are doing really well. One of them, of course, being Lance Stroll, who had an amazing qualifying. You cannot take that away from him. But what is he doing in the race at Formula Wonderland? Stroll be like. What did he have to gain steering left in the middle of the longest straight by far on the circuit? He's not even anywhere near the braking zone. Alonso's got a great run. He's not stopping him. Why would you just do that little whoop? Just a little whoop. You know what I mean? Little whoop. Oh, fit the microphone as well. I don't understand it. It's so dangerous. Alonso was so lucky not to hit. Maybe 3 or 4 meters further back, there was an opening in the wall, and yeah, I'm just so glad both drivers were okay. But Stroll cannot do that. It reminds me of Verstappen when he was 17 and making those silly driving errors, and I think it was Kimi Raikkonen. He was fighting in a Toro Rosso at Spa and did a little move. Was it Toro Rosso? Maybe even Red Bull, but he moved late, and it's that kind of stuff that's so dangerous that you can't do that at that high speed. It would just be a plane crash, and I'm so glad to see Alonso having not flipped his car, because it wheelied. You're not supposed to see a Formula 1 car wheelie. At 5 Lights, go, go, go. Driving through Alonso Stroll debris. I mean, it was ridiculous. I thought it was going to be a red flag. I don't know if you, watching at home, also thought that, or if you were there at the racetrack. Very jealous. Let me know in the comments, do you think that should have been a red flag? Because I genuinely was convinced it was going to be. At Bents1780938. Now, this is a bit of a boomer reference, all right? So if you are sort of 20 years old, you probably don't even know what this phone is. And that, God, I sound old saying that. Alpine durability be like the Nokia 3310. That phone would survive anything. Nuclear explosion, no, Nokia 3310 would survive it. Throwing it into a black hole, nope, it would not disintegrate. It would stay exactly as it is. Same for Alonso. How has Alonso flown into that wall? I'm thinking he's definitely, I'm sure a lot of us thought he's out the race. He finished P7. P7! Fernando Alonso is doing unbelievably this year. So good. At CMCG_F1, and we have liftoff, of course, with both drivers being okay. Lots of memes were coming in after that. And yeah, there's Rocket League ones, but we've had those before, and this one's great. His back's going to be hurting some serious amounts after, well, probably tomorrow, in fact. So fair play to Fernando, scoring some great points. At One Stappen, Sainz showing up to the Grand Prix. Not chronological, but sorry, liked it late. Yeah. At least he's got a race next weekend as well. He can build off that and maybe get pole in Mexico. At @Colin_McIver. Bad pit stop for Vettel in a point-scoring position. Okay, let's talk about it. Oh, Seb was leading the race. Leading. Not legitimate. Well, legitimately, yes, but obviously not on strategy, but still. K-Mag made his mediums work. I feel like maybe Seb should have just stayed out and hoped for the best, but it was great to see Vettel lead. And then came in for his pit stop. You're thinking, top 5? Maybe 6th? 16-second pit stop. Are you having a joke? @X5istance. AM couldn't manage one car. Oh, it was such a bad pit stop. They put the car down and then you saw the mechanic going, no, put it back up. And it was just painful. By the way, let's talk about, seeing as we are with Vettel at the moment, @Formula Statman, Vettel versus Magnussen on the final lap. Unreal. That was just quality. I had to talk about it then. Those two were fighting like it was for the World Championship. Brilliant stuff. @Kelly77722, Vettel leading a race. Genuinely, I was loving life. We were live on Twitch, WTF on Official if you don't follow us already. And it was a special moment to see Vettel lead. And then Hamilton passing Vettel for the lead of the race. I was wondering what year it was, to be honest. @Bull and a Bike, F1 camera crew during the best battle of the race. Of course, you had this amazing moment where Verstappen's chasing down Hamilton. Leclerc's trying desperately to stay within DRS. It's pretty close to the end of the race. And then we're seeing Brad Pitt for the 473,000th time of the weekend. We get it. There's a secret F1 movie on the... Good. He ignored Martin Brundle during the grid walk, kind of. Martin had to force questions at him. He didn't want to talk to Martin, the absolute icon. If you ignore Martin Brundle, we don't want you, okay? Brad, you have to show Martin Brundle respect during the best part of the show, the grid walk. @O'Neill_F1, Lewis, when Max is tired, touches the edge of the track. Now, of course, Verstappen caught Hamilton, and that Mercedes is so draggy. It is so slow in a straight line. Verstappen catches him, just flies past him. They then have this amazing battle. To be fair as well, I need to mention Leclerc and Verstappen's battle was incredible as well. But Verstappen's just unreal. Like, he's so good. Oh, then he catches Hamilton, as I say, and it's really tense, and they fight for a bit longer. And then, of course, Max then gets through, but can't clear DRS. So then Hamilton's just watching him, eagle-eyed, waiting for that one extension. Because Max was on his final warning, then Hamilton was also on his final warning. They were both using the final tokens for track limits. They were just getting away with as much as they could. And it was kind of like telling the school teacher, wasn't it? @Marafadus, Hamilton counting Verstappen strikes. Yeah, that's very accurate. @JustSonor, K-Mag during the USGP. What a drive from K-Mag to score points in that Haas. It was something else to go that long on the mediums as well. Fair play. @Crystal Horner, Magnussen finishing on 40-lap-old mediums. Look at me, I am the Checo now, the tyre-saving king. Who has won? Tweet of the week. Right, tweet of the week time now. This one made me laugh. Don't know if you'll get it or not, but it did make me chuckle. And it comes in from @SimSanity. Vettel remembering who the hell he is. Whom has awakened the ancient one. Vettel was amazing. This tweet was amazing. Well done. You win an amazing Fanatec prize. I'll be in your DMs very soon. @MP Racing 17. Is it just me with a broken heart? It is. A lot of Vettel memes, as you would imagine, because he was having one of those incredible races that he has every now and again, and we were robbed of what could have been an amazing result. And another Vettel meme, @crispy_crouton, Vettel going to talk to the pit crew. Yeah, it wasn't even like it was a 5 or 6 second pit stop. 16! 16 seconds! Has to mind what you're doing! Now, I mentioned it earlier, but there's a meme to basically compliment it. @WillAmos13, Latifi spinning off by himself. It's just a feel-good stuff, you know what I mean? Like, Latifi's just having bants. You know, it's his last season. He's just having some 360s and doing donuts for the fans. Good lad. @Wilhelm Vega, Gasly at the back of the grid after a penalty, receiving another penalty for not serving his penalty correctly. Yeah, it didn't go well for Gasly, did it? What were AlphaTauri doing, by the way? Gasly was sat in front of Tsunoda on hard tyres compared to Tsunoda's medium. Tsunoda was clearly quicker, couldn't get by because he didn't really want to send a dive bomb on his teammate. AlphaTauri did nothing until they pit Gasly. It was odd.
It's time for Social Media Team Championship.
Right, Social Media Team Championship time now. Let's get into who has scored points for the US Grand Prix. In third place, we have Haas F1 for bonking. Yeah, you heard that right. F1. You just need to look at the F1 tweets. He'd be happy if it was what he thought it was, because it was something big, loose around pedals, and Haas bonked them. Well done, Haas. 1 point. In second place, we have Alpine F1, your friendly neighbourhood Esteban. I love that. That is a great picture. Good job, Alpine. You scored 2 points. And the winners of the Social Media Team Championship have to be Aston Martin. Sebastian Vettel leads the USGP. That's it. That's the tweet. Had to be full points. Loads of you sent it in to me on Twitter. And yeah, brilliant stuff. So well done, Aston Martin. You get maximum points.
And now it's time for Race Rundown with your host, Matthew Gallagher.
Race rundown time now. We are nearly at the end of the season, which means we haven't got many more race rundowns to go. What a shame. Here we go then. The finishers of the US Grand Prix were Verstappen, Hamilton, Leclerc, Perez, Russell, Norris. Oh, I felt good. Verstappen, Hamilton, Leclerc, Russell, Perez. No, Russell finished behind Perez. Verstappen, Hamilton, Leclerc. Verstappen, Hamilton, Leclerc. Okay, not good. Verstappen, Hamilton, Leclerc, Perez, Russell, Norris, Alonso, Vettel, Magnussen. Verstappen, Hamilton, Leclerc, Perez, Russell, Norris, Alonso, Vettel, Magnussen, Tsunoda, Ocon, Albon, Zhou, Gasly, Schumacher, Ricciardo, and Latifi. Yes, come on. The non-finishers were Stroll, Bottas, Sainz. Right, that is it. Thank you so much for watching the internet's best reactions to the US Grand Prix. I know that I've probably forgotten something, but I'm buzzing after that race. I actually predicted Hamilton to win, and I know a lot of you tweeted going, "Oh, Matt, oh, what are you smoking? Oh, wow, you must be out here." Well, that was close, wasn't it? It wasn't actually a bad prediction. So look forward to more crazy predictions for the Mexican Grand Prix coming up next weekend. We're, of course, live on Twitch, WTF1 Official. If you want to watch the race and quali and a few free practices live, then come and join us on Twitch. That is it. Hashtag WTF1 if you want to get involved in the future. Big thanks to Fanatec for sponsoring this, as always. And I'll see you next week for Mexico. Bye-bye!